Hello, welcome to Productions MJC. In this video, I want to talk about some prejudice that exists. Flat Earth jury duty. What's that about? Well, it seems that prosecutors hate to have a flat earther on the jury, and this is why. Because the mentality travels into the courtroom. They don't care what the facts say. They're going to believe what they want to believe. It's all about feelings. Feels flat, looks flat, must be flat. They don't care what the evidence says. Defense attorneys, on the flip side, they love to have a flat earther on the jury. And the simple explanation for that is they know the flat earther does not care about proof and will think this somehow is all a conspiracy against the defendant. They know the suspicious flat earther thinks circumstantial evidence is not proof, so they know that the state will have to come with something really hard and heavy to get a conviction. Of course, the state will present the best case they can from the crime scene evidence. However, the mindset of the flat earther against circumstantial evidence is just mind-boggling. It's not real to them. It's all fake. It's CGI. It's made up. There's nothing there. So if the state comes with anything circumstantial, it's game over. What does that feel like? What does that look like? What actually happens in the mind of the flat earther? I've been involved against the flat earth for, 5 years now? And I can tell you evidence means nothing. I can tell you what the flat earther's going to do on the jury. Okay, let's just say it's a murder trial. Well, the flat earther is going to turn to everybody else on the jury and say, I wasn't there. I didn't see it happen. So how do we really know it happened? After talking with flat earthers, I'm serious. They are going to look and say, nobody saw this man die. How do we know? How do we know it wasn't just a heart attack? How do we know? Because look how they treat an obvious fact. Well, the earth looks motionless. It feels motionless. It looks flat. It feels flat. It's obvious. It's flat. They make up their mind right off the bat because it's obvious, so that's what they stick with. However, as Sir Arthur Conan Doyle put it, there's nothing more deceptive than an obvious fact. Also, unfortunately, they misconstrue what is improbable and what is impossible. Again, turning to Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, when you have excluded or eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable or unlikely, that must be the truth. Whatever's left has to be the truth. However, the flat earther confuses the two, and they don't care what the facts say. When they've made up their mind, they're going to go with what they believe, and that's the way it is. They go with what's blatantly obvious. They overlook the complicated. They go with what's super obvious. And they don't want to be confused by facts, figures, and evidence and thinking. They just go with, well, looks flat, it's got to be flat. When you explain to them, no, it can't be flat because of this, nope, they don't care. For instance, I explained one time, a gentleman and I were debating on whether the sun was here or there and such, and there was the reflection of the sun on the water, which was an oval, and I explained, the less obvious fact is that a flat reflector can't make an oval reflection. The water has to be curved. And he just said, nah, that's circumstantial. Who cares? You can't prove that. What he doesn't realize is, I just did prove it. A flat reflector will make a round reflection of a round light source or a round ball or whatever. A curved surface, a convex surface, will make that curved, bent, oval reflection. But he wasn't buying it. He wasn't listening to the truth. He wasn't listening to the proof. He wasn't listening to the evidence. He was closed. And prosecutors hate to have that on a jury because they're going to get a hung jury and they'll have to do it all over again. Flat earthers are so distrustful they forget that circumstantial evidence is evidence. It is evidence. To a flat earther, circumstantial evidence is make-believe. It's fantasy. It's what you do in your mind. it's not real to them because it can't be fought without thinking things through and listening to somebody else. They won't listen. Finger pointing, that's it. Finger pointing. Circumstantial evidence, bunch of finger pointing, that's it. To them. That's why defense attorneys love to have flat earthers on the jury, because they have an instant reasonable doubt. And with a little bit of coaxing, a little bit of guidance, they can turn that into a flat out, oh no, no way in heck, that ain't happening doubt. It's done. As an example, let me show you something. This spiral jetty was made by a person. It's a piece of artwork out in the Great Salt Lake in Utah. So, you have this. It's obvious that it was a bunch of rocks piled up, made by a man to look that way. So, with just a little bit of conspiracy coaxing, you can turn that thought into this thought. Okay, this is just a bunch of swirls made by a man just to do what? Well, obviously, he's on trial because the state doesn't like him. So what the state's going to do is manufacture something against him. The state's going to make something against him. Like this person made this artwork. It's all made up and manufactured. And boom, there you have it. There you have it. A hung jury. Now you got to start all over again. And what's worse? What if they make this flat earther the foreman? Oh, and what if the foreman can convince everybody else? What if this clown can convince everybody else that it's all a conspiracy against this person? We never saw it, so therefore we can't judge whether it happened or not. Plus, not only does the state have to prove its case, it has to turn around and prove that it didn't set up its case, that it's not fake, that it's not CGI. I kid you not, with a flat earther on the jury, you almost couldn't prove that heart surgeries are real, because that person would say the scar in the chest is just circumstantial evidence. I never saw the surgery. I've never been through one. I mean, really, it's like that. They would turn to you and say, oh, come on, you kill somebody and then you bring them back to life? Who are we, Frankenstein? They would say, I don't believe it. This is all garbage. For the poor prosecutor with a flat earther on the jury, I mean, that is an uphill battle beyond uphill battles. And for the defense attorney, oh, all you got to do is throw a little conspiracy in there or something else and boom, you'll win, hung jury. Or worse, an acquittal when there shouldn't be one. Let's look at these footprints. We know they're footprints, but the flat earther won't believe they're footprints by two people until, not only until they see the two people, but they will have to verify that it's actually two people, not just the tracks of one person going in and out. They will have to verify. They won't accept the fact that it's two different footprints, two different sizes. They will have to verify it with their own personal eyes. So that's why it's horrible to have them on a jury. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe. Have a good day. This has been Productions MJC.